always forget which button it is.
Oh, it's the one at the top. That's, yeah,
there you go. Yeah,
tricky ones. Right, you're all good. Crack on.
So my presentation is going to be about Power Apps and Power Automate and how we at the CSU have used those in our department really. So give you a bit of a background. So I joined the NHS back in 2013, straight out of college in an admin role at a provider trust before moving to the CSU in 2017 to work in finance, and I've been in the same team since. So I'm a bit of an Excel computer nerd, and I'm always looking to find ways of making improvements in the day-to-day work and helping the department get the best out of the technology we have. And sort of through that, I've been given the opportunity to do that with all the automations and innovation things that they're doing. And it's something I really enjoy. And then outside of work, I'm kept busy by my 6-year-old son and my one-year-old cockapoo who's fast asleep at the moment. So hopefully he doesn't disturb us too much. So really, just in case anybody's unsure of what Power Automate and Power Apps are, I'll give you a quick Microsoft explanation of what they are. So Power Automate is a cloud-based service by Microsoft, which allows users with the knowledge and process to create repeatable flows that perform the process for them. So it's very similar to what RPA does, but in sort of a dumbed down version. So it's a low no code option is what Microsoft say. So you don't need any coding knowledge to actually create the flows. And then Power Apps is sort of a low code application platform that enables users to create custom apps, again, without any knowledge of coding and programming. And then obviously with Microsoft 365, all of the applications and apps and sort of work together. So Power Automate and Power Apps connect to allow the automation data. The benefits, the efficiency, automation of repetitive tasks, streamlined business processes. It's cost effective because it's a low/no code approach. So again, it reduces the need for any development in coding, and again, the reliance on IT services. So all of the flows and the apps that we've created, myself I've created for the issue, have been without any need for IT's help. So I've sort of done them themselves. So we gives you that real flexibility and things around the customization and flexibility means you can create tailored solutions specific to business needs and build apps and flows that can adapt to change quite quickly. You'll also be able to do collaboration and accessibility, so sharing apps and flows easily within your organisation, and cross-platform compatibility allows flows can be used on mobile phones, tablets, on the desktop. So definitely lots of places where you can run flows and build flows and things. And then again, you can use the apps to capture and analyze data and automate data collection. So, and with going back to the cost effectiveness, all of the sort of knowledge that I've gained on Power Apps and Power Automate, I've done using free resources online. So YouTube, Google, ChatGPT, and things like that. So towards the end of the slide, there's some links and things to the resources I've used. So I'll be able to share those afterwards. And then, so how have we used Power Automate? So one of the flows that I created was for sending out payment breakdowns to care home providers. So previously we've done this using Excel macros, and it worked. It was a good way of doing it, but it was very slow, and it sort of stopped you from using Excel and other programs on your computer while it was running. So it usually took around usually took about an hour, 2 hours to do that process from start to finish each month. So we do this monthly for a couple of our ICB clients. So I thought, is there another way we can do this which is a lot quicker and then stops my computer from being frozen up for 2 hours each month? So I looked into doing it through Power Automate. So I built a flow which on average now saves around 45 to 60 minutes per month, which is really good for being more efficient. And again, one of the other benefits is that it doesn't stop Excel from working because it does it in the background. So I don't lose that 2 hours per month of my computer being down kind of thing. Another benefit was that macros were written by our BI team. So I personally don't have much knowledge of macros. So if things did go wrong, which they did because it was very temperamental sometimes, I'd have to go back to the BI team and ask their help sort of to fix it. And again, that slowed down the process. But as I've built the flows from scratch myself, if anything does go wrong, I'm got the knowledge to go in and fix it quite quickly. It doesn't go very wrong very often either, so it's a lot more efficient. It runs first time most of the time. So again, we don't have that downtime of things going wrong. And again, I haven't had any coding experience myself, so I've fully self-taught on it using my NHS finance training, so using the networks that you've got, and then again YouTube videos to gain that knowledge. So it's given me another skill, and it's something that I've enjoyed doing really. So Power Apps as well. So that's something else we've built on. So I use Power Automate first, and then sort of having a play of what we've got available to us as a CSU. I looked into Power Apps. So the first thing I did for Power Apps was we've got our health and wellbeing network at the CSU. So we do regular virtual walking challenges within the department, and we used to record that data on a spreadsheet. So just to make it a bit more visually friendly and a bit nicer for people to use, I created this app. So it's just basically a data collection app. So we still collect the data similar way to an Excel spreadsheet. It's a bit more interactive, so we can see the progress that we're making and things, and what our next milestone and things is. And then we sort of have a little leaderboard as well, where we can see who's making the most steps and things. So again, I haven't needed any coding knowledge to build the app. Again, using YouTube videos and then attending a free Microsoft Power Apps course. I'd say with Power Apps, the formulas that in the background that you use are very similar to what Excel formulas are. So if you're good with Excel formulas, you'll sort of pick it up quite quickly. Things saying, again, it's something that we're now using to develop a work app for our accountability cards that we have for our finance system. So again, using approvals and things within the app. Again, so which makes it more user friendly for the staff who aren't quite technically minded and things. So again, yeah. So other examples of how we've used Power Automate and Power Apps. So again, we use it to sending out emails for our PHP audits. So again, we on a quarterly basis send emails to patients asking for bank statements to do their PHP audits. Again, so we do that using Power Automate, which sends out all the emails requests in one go. Again, that saves a lot of time having to manually send those emails out. And then updating form responses for our quality management system. So we've got a form set up to log various things, and then the Power Automate works in the background to log those answers and send reminders and things. And then again, as I've just mentioned, we've got our accountability card app in development at the moment. So again, that's using both Power Automate and Power Apps for the approval of our accountability cards. On the next slide, I sort of went into the templates that are on Microsoft. So here were some of the templates that that are on Microsoft that you could use. So just to get your brain thinking of how you can use it in your organisations. So you can save Outlook email attachments to OneDrive, post messages in Teams when a planner task is completed, and then track obviously Microsoft form responses in Excel, and then send messages in Teams and email. So those are just a few of the many thousands of templates that have already been built by fellow Power Automate users that are free to use on the Microsoft Power Automate platform. And then so lessons I've learned, don't be afraid to make mistakes. It took a while to get these flows working as they should. A lot of going backwards and forwards, trial and error, testing them. Take the time to learn and understand what you want the flow or app to do first before you go in and build the flow. I'm a very visual learner, so I write down sort of the process on a piece of paper with what I want each step to do, and then go in and build those apps by using the resources available to you. So all the resources I've used are free and easily accessible. So in the last few months or so, ChatGPT and again Microsoft Copilot available in Power Automate at the moment has been really useful. Sort of give you the starting point of where you want to start with the flow, and then again start small and experiment. So I started with the small flow of what I want to do, and then built on that flow to get it to the final point, and then have fun. Really, is the main thing. It's something that I've been given the opportunity to play with in work time, and sort of been given the support and things from my managers and the team and the department as a whole, really, and it's sort of benefiting everybody by me learning how to do this and sort of having the fun to do it, really. And then these are the resources I've used. So a couple of YouTube channels which have been really useful, and a few websites, and then again Google and ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot have been really useful recently. That's it really. I'll just open up for any questions and things. I know we've got a little bit more time, and then we've got a bit of time to do any live demonstrations as well if anybody's interested in that.
Ooh, live demonstrations. I know I will be. If there's any more thumbs up for live demonstrations, please get on the reaction button while we do the reaction button. Okay, so a question from Jackie. What are accountability cards, please?
So they're sort of so on our finance system, we've got where people have got different levels of what they can see in the system. We've sort of got an accountability card to check that. So sort of depending where you are in the organisation and what level you are, you can't have certain permissions in our Oracle. So it sort of just covers that for audit, really.
Okay, got you. And so there's a question here from Stephen as well. So recognises the sort of benefit, and I guess this fills in a sort of question I've got as well, is how many of you are there at your organisation? So Stephen's question is, if you were off sick and something went wrong, do you have sort of other colleagues to solve or fix these issues? Or
not at the moment, but the plan is to put sessions out within our organisation to teach people of what Power Apps can do and Power Automate can do. We're sort of on the very early stages of the journey with it, really. But if anybody's technically minded and good with Excel and things, they'd pick it up quite quickly, I think, because I certainly have. And again, I've no coding experience at all.
I agree. So I'm not even an accountant by background, and I've got a load of bots running around doing lots of lovely little tasks for me, and again, completely self-taught. So the accessibility for stuff like this, particularly Power Automate, it's really easy to get into. And at YouTube, bit of not fearing to fail, I think is an important bit as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And Okay, so a question from Nina: how long did the Power Apps take to develop on average?
So the one we got for the health and well-being challenges, that was really quickly because it's a very simple app that just collects data and then visualizes that data on the screen. The accountability card app, it's been a long process, but not necessarily because of the Power Apps. It's just been a long process of sort of completely changing the way that we do that process from start to finish, because it was very paper form heavy and things, so it's completely changing the process. But yeah, it just depends on what process you want to change, and really, I think. But I'd say it took me about 6 months to probably learn how to use Power Apps properly. So again, that was just having a play. Sort of the first app I built was a timesheet app, so we don't actually use that, but it was something I built in my sort of the spare time I had in day-to-day work to play with it and stuff. And again, there's a lot of I think it's on GitHub. There's a lot of apps you can actually download that people have already created, so that saves you time of having to download to create apps from scratch. So again, using those apps and then just sort of changing them to your needs as well.
Yeah, the library in Power Automate is growing and growing all the time.
Yeah.
It's quite out of the box sort of situation. So with what's it? So Jamie Dieck asked a question. Interest in setting up a message in Teams where a planner task is being completed. Is that easy to set up? That's probably a template that exists, in fact.
It's definitely a template that exists.
Yeah.
So it would be probably something that could be set up quite quickly. Just having a look at the templates now on my. If I reshare my screen, actually, that might be.
Love a live demo. Love the confidence. Crack on.
So within Power Automate, you've got a sort of template section. So you've got all of these templates. So there's, I don't know how many. I'd say there's probably hundreds, thousands. And then it tells you again sort of thing. So the example that I put in was creating a task in planner, so which is this one. So you just click on the template. It then creates the sort of links it up to your sign in. So it's linking up to my 365 account there. Just asking me to sign in on that one. I'm not sure why. So we'll just click sign in there. And then once that's all connected, click continue. And then you obviously need to select the forms. It's just to literally drop down. So select which form you want to. So these are all the forms I've created. So this is. So we've got a form. We can nominate a finance. So that's our awards thing that we do. So again, just stick those in, and then finding which to create the task. So again, this is just where you want the task to be sort of saved and things. So we put it in more. Just trying to think which one I can use that's not going to set some things off.
Yeah.
I put it in my to-do list. I think that's my personal one. And then just give it a title. And then again, select which team you want the post message to go to. Again, let me select one that's not being used very often. And then again, the channel, so one of my test channels. And then click create. So, fingers crossed, it should. So yeah, that's created it for you as a test. So if we go to edit, now I'll actually show you the form, the flow itself. So this is what's going to be happening in the background. So when a new form is submitted, it gets the response details, creates a task, and then posts that message in Teams. It's simple as that. So fingers crossed that's worked. I'll click the button. So if I submit this form now, so let's do it as a test, a live test. What could go wrong?
I'm trying to think as well, but I think you've got all the dots, like the T's crossed. I think this is.
So let's click on my form, and quite a simple one. So just put.
That's a lovely looking form there, Jamie, as well.
So just put the test, and then that as a test. So that's been submitted. Now let me, fingers crossed. So as that's been submitted, the flow should automatically start running because that's the way it's set up. So you can set up flows to do. There you go, it's failed. You can set up flows to be automatically done on a response, or you can set them to be manually run. So you can pick run. So it's going to be something to do with the Teams channel or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
failure is all part of success. You got to learn from everything. It's just the whole arc, I think.
Yeah,
I've learned to be a bit like, I love failure in a way, because it's like always teaching me lessons and all the rest of it. I think it's this forces you to do it, but it's part of learning, I think.
it is definitely, and that's something that the first 3 stages of the flow have worked. The problem is with the message being sent in Teams, and it's probably something to do with the access or something in the background. But yeah, that's something that then you go back and have a look. I'd always just drop that error message in Google, because you never know, somebody might have had the same problem, and that'll save you time trying to figure it out yourself. But yeah, if I go back to my flows and give you a couple of examples of the flows I've built. So we've got simple flows that, so once we've done some, we do invoice validation for it's a system called DPS. So once we do those invoice validations, we send emails out to the ICB who approved the final invoice to say we've done this invoice validation. The files are here. So again, I created a very simple flow to do that, which again is the simplest of flows, but it saves writing 3 emails. It does it in 2 seconds. The actual flow itself. So again, I'll quickly show you that. And again, so we manually trigger it when we do the process, and then it just sends out 3 emails to the different ICBs very quickly. And again, I built that for a colleague who does that process, and she can go in and run this flow herself. And again, because it's very simple as well, she knows how to fix it if it does go wrong. But again, it's very simple. It's just hide the names at the top. But yeah, it gives you an email template. So you put in the email template, and then pretty much it gives you you can put a link into a SharePoint site and things like that. That's one of them.
Fantastic. The chat has blown up, so there's no way I'll be able to keep pace with this. If you ask a question and we missed it, please. I mean, you can put up your hand and ask a question like, a human. That's welcome as well. There's quite a bit here on sort of how receptive your team or members of your team were in terms of implementing changes. So like the accountability card, for instance, that took a long time. Did you find people were receptive or quite cautious about this new way? Or
they have been, yeah, and there has been a push over the last 12 months or so to get more automation into our processes, and that's why part of my role was created really as the innovation lead, is to help with that push and sort of be that face of the department to challenge those processes and think of ideas of how to get those improved and things like that. Yeah.
And I think in terms of the forum perspective, we're keen to more formalize this role in existence in finance teams and this sort of stuff. We need more resource there to be able to create more capacity to do a lot more of this stuff, and it become a bit more normalized than what it is at the moment, which is fringe, which seems mad when you look at the amount of hours you're saving day in, day out. On the licenses, quite a bit about licensing points. Yeah. So there's Power Automate Web, isn't there? And then there's Power Automate Desktop. To my understanding, based on some research we've done, as part of your Microsoft package that your trust will have, there are Power Automate Web, which is what Jamie's demonstrated today,
Yeah.
free licenses. They exist. There's no need to purchase more there, but it's a case of them being switched on for you to a certain degree, and there is an allocated as part of your package and free licenses because Microsoft's keen to do that. Desktop's quite different. Is that about right, do you think, Jamie?
Yes, I've only got the web license.
Web
So I'm
version,
just checking now. I think I can't remember where to check it, to be honest. But yeah, I'll double check and I'll put it in the message. I'll be on this webinar all day, so I'll drop that in at the end. But yeah, I've got the free web version, which I think I did have to request it to be switched on. That's on my IT department. But yeah.
And good. It looks like Stephen's decided to start playing, which is exactly what we want to encourage as well. You've got another 10 minutes of your session, Jamie. I don't know if there's another.
I'll quickly show because I've noticed there's a couple of questions about the health and wellbeing app, so I've got that loaded. So
cracking, yeah, that's great.
This is what it looks like. So very simple. So this is sort of the editing version of the app. So when each screen has a page, I'll be careful about names actually. Let me just go back a step. But yeah, so if we look at the coding, we'll look at the home screen because that covers the names and things. So when you select that button, so that's the button that you would select. The coding is very simple. So just the navigate function, and it'll take you to that particular screen for that. The images are all sort of hosted outside of the app, so they're all on a SharePoint list, and then we're just linking in to that image. And then these steps, again, they're picking up the information from a SharePoint list, so all the data is stored on a SharePoint list. So again, that's just doing a sum from the SharePoint list at the gallery, and then times it by 2,000 to get the steps. So I think on average every mile is 2,000 steps and things like that. So
we have a question actually. Thank you, Adam, for kicking us off. That's much appreciated. Crack on. What's your question?
It was really just a comment about the licensing. From my discussions with our IT department, the desktop version of Power Automate there isn't an additional license cost. It's part of the main sort of the main licenses that we have. For both web and desktop, there are certain tools built into it that are premium. That there is an additional cost to utilize those. So, for instance, if you've got a Cloudflow wanting to go and talk to a SQL database, that's a premium connector. So that was going to cost additional money to have some of those more advanced functionality. But on the desktop version of Power Automate, that SQL connection is actually built into it and is free. But it can't be run, it has to be run locally on your machine. So it's like going back when you were using a macro on your computer. Power Automate Desktop, it runs locally on your machine. So but it can do more things than the cloud version can under the free licenses, well, as part of the licenses that we generally have in the NHS.
That's really helpful. Thanks, Adam.
I'll be contacting my IT department to get my desktop downloaded now. Yeah,
I think there's quite a lot of difficulty in getting the desktop version unlocked in organizations because of the tapping into SQL and free reign that might be given. That's not right, of course. Finance, should all have their sandboxes, and we're trying to do something centrally to sort of embolden this role in NHS finance so that we can have allocated individuals who can be able to get access to the desktop version as well as the web version, but definitely start playing now, as it were. Thanks very much, Adam. It's really appreciated.
I've just reading the question from George about careers for people who are passionate about RPA. So within our organisation, we've got a digital innovation team. So they work across the whole organisation and do a lot of RPA stuff. So there's definitely some areas there where people can go and join, develop their skills. I think they might be different for every organisation and where they are on their journey, but there's definitely jobs out there for people who want to work in RPA and things and develop in that area. I know I've done a little bit of, they've recommended some training on RPA for me, which I've done, which was free. But yeah, just having those skills and things.
I think the Microsoft resources are really good as well, to be fair to them. And also we have the Software Skills Network, so that essentially sits on the MS Teams Virtual Finance Network, hosted by One NHS Finance. On there is 500 odd people who are, not afraid to ask stupid questions for anyone to help. It's sort of ask questions and help NHS finance setting. And there's a Power Automate channel in there. In fact, Paul, who's speaking later on today, is one of the leads for that channel. So I'm sure he'll talk a bit more about that. But there's a few videos in there to help people get started. It's sort of a basics video session, and then there's a few tasks you can do as you like. And we've got a few individuals learning on there. So the opportunity is pretty much everywhere to get started with this stuff. And if you get blockers in getting access to these softwares, which we would really like to know about those and what they look like, because there's a bit of a myth busting element to start working with this stuff. And we want to try and support individuals getting to grips with this software within finance. So that'd be great. Thanks, Robert. I think said NHS Mail Digital Heroes Teams channel, which is a separate one as well. Is there anything else you spotted in that chat, Jamie?
I haven't, no, but we'll go through and answer what I can throughout the day. So yeah,
that's really good.
I'll dig out what license I've got as well for the Power Automate, and I think it might be an E1 or E3 license that's up on there, but I'll double check that and let us begin.
Okay. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing all that. That's really been really useful and really helpful. Yeah, thanks for a round of applause. Getting lots of digital round of applause, which is good. Right.